February 2nd, 2025. Laquanda is 16. She's last seen at her residence in Kannapolis. Her mother has said publicly that home security footage shows Laquanda leaving on foot and getting into a tractor trailer. Her personal belongings were found left behind. Her mother has also stated Laquanda has a PTSD diagnosis and left home without her medication. Family members have told local media they believe this may be a second trafficking event. As of this recording, she remains missing. Her case is registered with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and carries an NCIC case number. Kannapolis Police Department is the contact agency.
Tonight, a mother is pleading for answers as the months-long search for her daughter continues.
February 7th marked 1 year since Laquanda Robinson went missing. She was 16 at the time.
As WCNC Charlotte's Siobhan Riley explains, her mother hopes the community has information that will lead to her daughter's safe return.
This was her senior photo. She was excited. She was happy.
This is the last photo Shaquana Harris says her daughter, Laquanda Robinson, took before she went missing.
What do you want to say to your daughter? I just want to say that we love you. We want you to come home. We still searching for you. We're not going to stop.
Ring cam footage shows Robinson running out of her home last February. Her mother would soon follow after her.
All I seen was the 18-wheeler coming off the next street from the street where she was at, running toward. When we looked at the camera, that's how I knew she was on that street.
You think it's a case of human trafficking?
I think so. I think it's somebody she possibly met online. The only thing she was on was a video game.
This isn't the first time Robinson disappeared from her home. In July of 2024, 43-year-old Andrew Zeck was charged with coercing Robinson, who was 15 years old at the time, to meet him in Illinois.
She was trafficked all the way to Chicago, where he held her captive. He abused her physically, sexually, which resulted in her being diagnosed with PTSD.
Here's the part that stops me. This is not the first time Laquanda Robinson has vanished. A year before this, almost to the week, she disappeared the exact same way. Left home, gone. This is one story with a gap in the middle. A girl gets targeted online. She's moved across state lines. She's found, rescued, sent home, and roughly 6 months later, she's gone again. That's not bad luck. That's a pattern. Predators who target kids online don't always work alone. And kids who have already been groomed once are tragically at higher risk of being retargeted, sometimes by the same networks, sometimes by new ones who find them through the same vulnerabilities. It's one of the hardest truths in this work. Rescue is not the end of the story. It's supposed to be, but it's not always. Here's what happened the first time. February 1st, 2024. Laquanda is 15. She's last seen at A.L. Brown High School in Kannapolis, North Carolina. Police say it's believed she left on her own. For nearly 6 months, she's gone. According to Lake County, Illinois authorities and multiple news outlets, a man had been communicating with a 15-year-old girl from Kannapolis online since June of that year. He encouraged her to take a bus to Chicago. In early July, he picked her up from the bus station and brought her to his home in Green Oaks, Illinois, a home he shared with his mother. On July 23rd, the U.S. Marshal Service received a tip on her location. Homeland Security investigations in the Lake County Sheriff's Office confirmed she was at the residence. A search warrant was obtained. The next day, detectives watched 43-year-old Andrew Scheck leave the home with the girl. He was taken into custody. She was rescued. The search of his home turned up nearly 6 pounds of marijuana, 27 marijuana plants, a firearm, psilocybin mushrooms, and dozens of Adderall pills. He was initially charged with criminal sexual abuse and multiple drug and weapon offenses. A judge denied him pretrial release, and he was remanded to the Lake County Jail. Weeks later, a Lake County grand jury returned a true bill indictment, upgrading the charges significantly. Now, news coverage of the 2024 case did not name the girl who was rescued, standard practice for minor victims of sexual abuse. But her mother has since confirmed on the record in a February 2026 interview with WCNC Charlotte that this was her daughter. In her words, LaQuanda was trafficked to Chicago, held captive, and abused, physically and sexually, an experience that led to a PTSD diagnosis. Now, Andrew has not yet been sentenced. His criminal trial remains pending in the Circuit Court of Lake County, Illinois. He's being held without bond under the state's pretrial detention system while the case moves toward trial or a plea agreement. The charges following the grand jury's upgrade include involuntary sexual servitude of a minor, 4 counts, Class X felony; aggravated criminal sexual abuse, 4 counts, Class 2 felony; criminal sexual abuse, 3 counts, Class 1 felony; aggravated unlawful possession of a firearm, 2 counts; drug charges, possession with intent to deliver cannabis, psilocybin mushrooms, and Adderall. The Class X felony is the most serious category of offense in Illinois, short of first-degree murder. Each count of involuntary sexual servitude of a minor carries a mandatory 6 to 30 years in state prison. If convicted on the full indictment, he could face decades behind bars. It's hard to even imagine that LaQuanda had been trafficked once already, and now she's actively missing again, with speculation that she could have been trafficked a second time. Because she was impacted by trafficking during her first disappearance, and now we have that speculation right now. We want to try to take her preliminary data and information and cross-reference it against any type of trafficking or exploitation databases that we have developed. Now, you have to understand that because LaQuanda is under the age of 18, limited to no information may be available when we do the open source intelligence aggregation. So what we're going to try to do is expand some of that search. We're going to actually do an open-ended search is what we call it, dedicating limited compute capacity as part of this search because we only want to pull in that initial data. But the reason we're going to do that is because we actually want to expand it more toward social media and her activity, focusing in on her pattern of life. LaQuanda is part of that generation where they like to share everything online. So we're hoping that we can take advantage of that. So we're going to go ahead and run this local first. We have not had a chance to look at any of the data. So we just want to be careful before we showcase anything. So let's go ahead and type this in right now. LaQuanda Robinson. And we are actively searching. This should only take just a couple seconds. And we have our data pulling. So we've been able to identify 19 data points associated on preliminary assessment. Let us go ahead and review this for a second, and then we're going to share it with you. All right, so we've been able to gather 19 different data points related to LaQuanda. And we're going to share this with you right now. Of those 19, we've been able to identify a few different addresses, as well as linked persons. Those could be family, friends, community members. We found a few different contact records, emails, phone numbers, IP addresses associated to that. We also found some digital and social footprints. One of the more important areas here, though, if you look toward the bottom right, you'll see an area where it says no positive match returned. And that was when we took the preliminary information for LaQuanda and cross-referenced it against our trafficking and exploitation databases. It did not find any positive matches. Now, it is worth calling out that the information that we're cross-referencing against, these 19 data points, a large majority of these may actually belong to Laquanda or her trusted inner circle. So that's why it's so important for people to understand. Sit down for a second, press the pause button in your life, and if for whatever reason you're involved in the trafficking space, if you have heard Laquanda Robinson's name, maybe you heard a rumor, maybe you recognize her photo, please contact the law enforcement agencies or the Find Me Project if you're afraid to contact police or 911. You can actually go to our website, thefindmeproject.com, use our submit a tip feature, and remain 100% anonymous. Any type of data can honestly help us more than you can imagine with missing person cases.
This case has stayed alive online largely because of groups like the Black and Missing Foundation, who've kept her name circulating for over a year now. Cases involving Black teenage girls are historically undercovered by mainstream media relative to how often they occur.
Here's what I want you to sit with. Somebody convinced a 15-year-old to get on a bus once already. We know how that ended because law enforcement caught it in time. The second time, there was no bus station. There was no bus station camera. No tip to the marshals that we know of yet. Just a Ring camera, a tractor trailer, and a girl who has not been seen since. So if you were driving Highway 29 or I-85 near Kannapolis, North Carolina on February 2nd of last year, and you remember a truck, a hitchhiker, anything, maybe you were even at a truck stop within the North Carolina area or anywhere across the nation, and the photo of Laquanda looks familiar to you, please contact the authorities or the Find Me Project. We're going to be sure to circulate Laquanda's photo in every news release, social media episode or show release that we do, so that way everybody is able to see exactly who Laquanda is and what she looks like. That detail might be the one piece no one's connected yet. You don't have to be sure. You just have to say something. So if you have any information on Laquanda Robinson's whereabouts, contact the Kannapolis Police Department at 704-920-4000 or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. You can also reach the Black and Missing Foundation at 1-877-97-BAMFI, or you can even contact the Find Me Project. You can go to our website, thefindmeproject.com, and use our submit a tip feature where you can remain 100% anonymous. You can also send us an encrypted message on Signal. Our handle is thefindmeproject.22. Send us an email, contact us on any social media platform. You have the option to remain anonymous. Our number one concern and objective here is to find Laquanda. Share this episode. Say her name. This file stays open until she is home. So I just want to take a moment and say thank you to all of our listeners and viewers who watch our videos. It really means a lot, and you are making a big difference with us. If you've seen some of our previous content, we have now been able to grow our audience to over 120,000 people. That is amazing, and it allows us to really achieve our mission and purpose, which is to drive awareness and visibility to missing person cases. Now, the missing files. This is something new that we are doing. As you're familiar with, historically, we receive missing person referrals from either family members, friends, the community, law enforcement, and those referrals go through a process, an intake process, with our Guardian Angel Task Force, which is our team of volunteers. We have very specific criteria that we try to adhere to as we are looking to accept that missing person case into our program, at which time our advanced technology systems begin to gather intelligence throughout the world of IoT, Internet of Things, surface web, deep web, dark web, We also, have our Guardian Angel Task Force. The volunteers and professionals begin to gather intelligence as well using their expertise. And then our end goal is to have actionable intelligence come in where we can perform a search and recovery with the resources that we have available, whether that's on land or water. To give you an example, with water, we have the ability to deploy our sonar and dive raft and actually go out and check various waterways, which also aligns with Operation Rising Tide, which is something that we're doing as it pertains to that as well. Now, with the missing files, these are missing person cases that we have not taken in to our actual Find Me project intake process. But we understand and acknowledge that there is a massive gap if we don't feature as many cases as possible. So the missing files, the mission here is to drive as much awareness and visibility to these local missing person cases. We want to take them from having a few hundred to a few thousand to having hundreds of thousands of eyes and ears on these missing person cases that have never had them before. We want to be able to have information come in from all over the place. There's probably somebody listening to this right now that may have information to a missing person case, and they don't even realize that it's valuable. That's the information that we want to try to receive. Those are the people that we want to try to reach. And this is one of the best ways that we can do that. So we're going to feature missing person cases through the missing files, which is going to be a micro podcast or micro episodes. This is going to be a special podcast series that's part of the Find Me podcast. We will randomly release these either on Wednesdays as part of our scheduled releases or just throughout the week at random. And then depending upon the information and intelligence that we come in, we may be able to actually intake those missing person cases and begin to allow our autonomous advanced systems to begin the data aggregation process through OSINT, open source intelligence, and then get to a point where we can do search and recovery. So that's the whole model. A few minutes a day, a name you did not know yesterday, a share that reaches the right person. My name's Mark. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Find Me podcast. Take care.
Left the light on by the window like I always do, just in case tonight's the night you finally come walking through. Ooh. I replay our last conversation, searching for a sign. Every stranger's face I see, for a second I think it's thine. Where did you go? Just an echo in the silence. I'm holding out hope against the odds, against the science. I'll keep a space for you right here inside me. They say that time's a healer, but the clock just stands so still. Every sunrise is a question mark upon a lonely hill. Where did you go? Just an echo in the silence. I'm holding out hope against the odds, against the science. I keep a space for you right here inside.